Yes, yes, yes. What is good, my people? Welcome back to Computer Music Academy's weekly homework podcast. I am your host, Tashir Rasay. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Welcome to week 108 of the weekly homework assignment / podcast. Shout out to my man Black Monk for that intro. And this week, what are we doing? Well, it's officially fall. The leaves are turning. The air is getting a little chill. Temperatures are dropping a little bit. Starting to see certain animals and creatures come into the neighborhoods or leave the neighborhoods on certain missions. But there's something that we've been doing for the last couple of years. This is our third year of doing it. That I said, yep, we got to do it again this year because every episode, it turns out great. And I've said this before, I'm a fan of all music. But there's some music I'm more fans of the music than the performers. Notice I didn't say MCs or rappers. This is our trap / crunk episode. And I could listen to certain, not all, trap beats. Some people that make trap beats, they just kill it. Freaking love it. Then you got that really monotonous, repetitious kind of stuff that's just not so great. But, and before I even go there, I'm not a huge fan of trap artists in general. I do like T.I. I do like a few things from Jeezy, and, you know, it's a couple people that occasionally it's like, okay, that was kind of dope. But now the world has turned into these really dope rappers that come out over trap beats, and it's weird. It's very weird. I saw a dude from the UK. I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but this was just about a week ago that was over like a trap type beat, and he was killing it. And we all know what trap music sounds like with the kind of raps that are over there. But now people are getting wise, I should say, and they're doing more lyrical stuff over trap beats. So that's why I say trap beats are dope. And we've done it for the previous 2 years. And now we're going to do it again this year. And we have 4 submissions to get to. The first of which is from our guy who never lets us down. I believe, I'm going to have to go and verify, but I believe this man has been on every episode this year, has not missed a step. And if so, we're going to have to get some kind of special award or something for him. But the reason I'm looking forward to hearing his rendition is because he's down south, so to speak. And you know I'm talking about my man, DJ Nocturnal. Let's go. Yes, yes. DJ Nocturnal with his submission. That dude can do no wrong. and it's practically nothing that he can't do, or I will say that he won't attempt. That's huge. That's huge, where you just say, you know, you just have a particular person approach you and say, yo, can you do this? Give me a second. That's Locke. And I really appreciate that about him. And one thing I got to point out from the jump is, if you listen to a lot of trap stuff, you know, and I'm just basically focusing on the beats, but you listen to a lot of trap beats and they sound sonically, they sound very clear and very polished. You know, a lot of high end, and everything is not necessarily sharp, but it's bright and it's on point. And Locke kind of went with a grimier sound, and he worked perfectly. I mean, think about it. You listen to his joint and you listen to somebody else's joint that's like on the radio, or if you go to SoundCloud, Bandcamp, or something like that, and there's a certain type of sound sonically as far as how it's EQ'd and mixed, that kind of thing. And with Locke, it still sounds good, but it's more of a darker tone. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't have as much high end. It kind of sounds like it's downsampled a little bit. Maybe that's just me, the way I'm hearing it, but I really like the approach that he went with that. But I do like how it sounds sonically. I do like throughout the entire joint, I like the different transitions and change ups. Like at I want to say it's around 125. He actually had like no, maybe it's a little later. Around like the 148, 150 is where it actually had a bridge that was very dope. But I loved it all. I loved he had the trap snare breakdowns, you know, that kind of thing. Had the bass, boom, 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 you know, that kind of thing. This dude, Locke is my man. Locke is my absolute dude, man. I love him. For real. Excellent submission, my man. And now, moving on to a place where I've yet to hear, at least I think, I've yet to hear some trap beats, but I've yet to hear a trap beat from this individual, and especially since he hasn't participated much this particular year, but he jumped in on this one. I'm very eager to hear this one. So let's go on over to Germany and check in with my man, Stephen G.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Yes, Stephen G. The Potsdam beat banger returns. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was nice. That was very nice. And I would say it's odd because we know that Stephen G is mostly a dance dude. You know, he's done dance music for a couple of decades at this point. But I would say that it's weird for someone like him to do a trap beat or some trap music, but it's not, because it's weird how trap music has actually found its way into being one of the EDM subgenres now. It's very weird how that happens, but it makes sense when you think about it, because it is for the club, it is for the rides, but definitely for the club. And the way it's made its way into the EDM, into EDM as a subgenre, along with like dubstep and, just, popular, very popular EDM or electronic dance music in general, it makes sense. So to have our man Stephen G jump on that, it's actually not that odd or that weird. And I really like what he did with it. It's exactly how I would expect Stephen G to do some trap, and that's not a bad thing, not at all. But as far as you got the bass and it's like a 808, or maybe it's not a 909, I forgot the other TR the other TR drum machine I was thinking of, maybe the 303 or 606, something like that. But yeah, definitely had those drums in there. I like that transition around, like, I think it's like the 35, where it actually, the bass kind of dies and then it just comes back. Whoa. But then the second time he did it, which is around like the 105, it actually came back in with that high synth. Ooh, that was nasty. And I wonder how that would sound, that whole part from 110 or towards the end, or maybe when it repeats at the 130, around that area. I wonder how that would sound if it actually had like some chorded pads, kind of harsh pads in there. If that would have just sat right behind on top of the bass and underneath the high synth, I think that would have been real dope just to match up with that. But I really, really, really appreciate how he approached this track. It's very dope. It's very Stephen G. And we just do not have enough of Stephen G. Where the hell is Stephen G? Come back. Come hang with us, bro. Excellent submission, my man. All right. Bringing it up. This one, I got word of what was going down. This definitely has my interest. So, coming back up to Detroit, hollering out our man, Mr. Wallace. Let's go.
Look at Wallace play. Wallace! It's Soundville! It's Soundville! It's Soundville! It's
This guy, Mr. Wallace. Oh my. First and foremost, shout out on the filter. I want to say filter delay because that's what it sounds like. Man, excellent use of that. Jeez, I'm just sitting here listening to it in my headphones, just bopping out like, God, this is nasty. So shout out to him. He actually said this is chill trap, which I could see that. And he actually used a song, a sample from Aaron Hall. One of my favorites, Don't Be Afraid. I'm not familiar with this particular version of it, though. I think that's off of the New Jack City soundtrack. I could be wrong. But that one that he used sounds like a much slower version, more of a you know, an actual slow dance song, I guess you can say. But yeah, shout out to Aaron Hall. That dude is still one of the baddest voices in R&B ever, for real. But yeah, this thing right here, this guy comes through and does something entirely different, but he stays within the style. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And everybody has done that so far. You could be within the same genre or the same type of music and still put your own signature on it. And that's what it's all about when we do these type of assignments. Because let's face it, most of us, the majority of us at CMA are mainly hip hop cats. Then you got people like Stephen G, who's mostly a dance cat. And then you got people like Sho and Taurus, who can do a little bit of everything. They're well-rounded. And same thing with Gold, too. I put him in that category as well. They're very well-rounded. But the majority of us do hip-hop, like, I guess you could say traditional hip-hop. True school kind of hip-hop. But we can go anywhere. We can literally go anywhere, as demonstrated so far in this particular podcast. But man, this thing right here, the way the sample was used and chopped, and like I said, that filter delay kind of thing, the way the sequence is laid out with the 808 kicks and the snares and the hats and everything. He actually had, I think it was around the I want to say like the 115 or something like that. And then it happened again later where he had this one synth come in around like the 115, 120 area. That was very dope. But then repeated it later on where it had more stuff that came in at that particular part. Just all around nastiness. I really love the use of that sample. And we were talking on Facebook yesterday, and he was like, dog, I love it. This is crazy. And it's like, Wallace, he knows he brings it, you know what I'm saying? He knows that he's very talented, he's very dope with his submissions. But when I get that from him, it's like, okay, I know this is going to be something special. And it was. So shout out to Wallace on that. And now, moving on to the finale of this particular podcast, a man who has been holding it down for quite some time now, you know, this year. Our man, Sho-Nuff.
Hey, stop till we get it right. We gonna flirt, don't stop till we get it right. We gonna flirt, hey, stop till we get it right. We gonna flirt, don't stop till we get it right. And I Keep fighting for life. Keep fighting for love. Because if we don't, what will the future look like for our children? Keep fighting.
Dog, are you serious? Woo! That was a banger. Oh my. Sho-Nuff closing out week number 108 of the weekly homework assignment / podcast. Yeesh. What the hell? So I'll keep the name of this person quiet for, you know, if in case they want me to. But last week after last week's podcast, and you know, hit me up during the day. It was late afternoon. I think he was still at work, but hit me up through Facebook and was like, yo, Sho-Nuff is good, man. I have to agree. Man, this was just wow. Jeez, I did not see that going where it did because it went several different places. I love how it started in the beginning, where it was kind of in the halftime kind of thing tempo, and I saw it happening around the 115. I saw it building slowly. I saw it, but it was more apparent once it got to like the 120 and so on, to where it was just building up, you know, kind of like that I don't want to say typical, but it is very indicative of EDM or trap, to where it has that build up and it has that sweep. And then at 130, right before 130, it hits with the full beat. And I'm like, holy crap, dude. I just lost it at that part. Like, damn. But that wasn't all. This dude, and pardon me if I'm getting it wrong where it actually kicks in, but I think it's around the 2-minute mark. It changes again. And then it's around between the 230 and the 245. I'm looking at my, you know, the waveform. It changes again. Like, what the hell is going on? Dude, way to bring it. And again, that's what I'm talking about, people. You could be within the genre that everybody else does, that is doing, and do your own thing. That's why it annoys me so much. That's why I hate trap music that's on the radio. I'll say that. I don't listen to the radio to begin with, but when I am sitting in somebody else's car or whatever, and they listening to, you know, whatever urban radio station, and they play this stuff, it all sounds the same. And I'm like, you can do more stuff within that same genre. I mean, many people would say it's broken off of hip hop, which it is. It is a derivative of hip hop. But when you look at the different styles or subgenres within hip hop, everybody does different things. And that's why I can't stand when I'm listening to the radio and I hear pop music or synth pop or whatever it is. It all sounds the same. It's all formulaic. Same thing with trap. Same thing with what's supposed to be R&B now. You know, all of this crap. It all sounds the same, but you can do whatever you do within that genre. Do it differently. So shout out to everybody that came through today. Sho-Nuff, Mr. Wallace, Stephen G, and DJ Locturnal. They are excellent examples of taking an existing genre, subgenre, style, however you want to say, of music, and doing it your own way, putting your own signature on it. That is what it's all about. Sho. I'm done talking about you, dog. Thank you to everybody that participated today. Thank you. If you are watching and listening, please continue to support us. We appreciate everything you do with us, and we appreciate you hanging out with us every single week. Do me a favor, though. If you like this particular episode, or I'll say this, take your favorite episode of the weekly homework assignment / podcast, put it on your Twitter, your Facebook, your Google Plus, your whatever social media that you're on, put it on there and say, this is my joint right here. I want y'all to check it out. Help us out. Help us continue to grow and help us continue to make better music, because when we do our assignments and you get hype and hopefully you get inspired, and that helps us all in general. So with that said, I'm done talking this week. Oh, by the way, come on over to computermusicacademy.com and join us. It's that simple. I'm done for the week. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will talk to you next time. See ya.